Do you remember the last big meltdown, 2008, Lehman Brothers and all that? A lot of Greeks took their savings out of Greek banks, hopped in the car, drove north and stuck the money in a German bank because they figured it would be safer there. But that was almost a decade and a half ago now, in a world where quaint concepts such as, quote, your savings were still broadly recognized. What if the state decides it doesn't really want you withdrawing your money and walking it around to wherever you decide you're going to park it? Leilani Dowding is back with us, and we're always thrilled to see her. And Leilani, you went to the bank the other day.
I did. I wanted to take out a bit of money. It wasn't a huge amount. I mean, it wasn't a small amount. It wasn't massive. So I walked in, asked if I could withdraw, and they said, well, we need to fill out some forms. What's it going on?
This is money in your bank account. They're not giving you a loan. This is your money.
What's it for? And I think my face was just like, what? And then I started going into like, why do you need to know? Next door, there was a girl telling me she was going, telling a cashier she was going to Turkey for some teeth veneers. So I guess she was having the same issue. I wished I said I was off to play alongside Hunter Biden. But, you know, I didn't. I was just very confused. And they said, well, we're sorry, the government need to know. We need to know where the money's going, and, you know, it could be money laundering.
You were taking out like $250,000, were you?
Oh, yeah, loads.
Just see, what level does this crack in at?
Low four figures.
Low four figures. So in other words, less. This is you, Boris Johnson, with your 10 quid off your rebate for a kettle every year. This is actually less than the price cap is now. So you're saying if it's like $4,000, and the price cap's predicted to be 8,000 by April, so it's like half your electric bill.
Exactly, and apparently that's too much. So I went in, and I said, okay, so in order not to fill out the forms, how much can I take out? I'll take it out in 2 transactions. What I'm buying, I'm not going to buy till next week anyway. Let me take it out in 2. So we can't tell you. I said, you can't tell me. I said, OK, what about this amount? They said, OK, you can take that out. So I said, well, what about this amount? And I added a little bit more on. I said, OK, you can do that. So it wasn't the full amount, and it wasn't, it was a bit more than half. So I went out, I did it in 2 transactions, but it's like, why are we going through this? Why do they want to know exactly where we're spending our money? It's like they need to collect their tithe on everything. I've already paid tax on it. You know, let me take it out. Let me spend it how I want.
Well, also, I don't understand why you are obliged to tell them what you're... I mean, you know, if I say, oh, I'd like to take out £4,000, what are you doing with it? Oh, I'm flying to San Francisco to have a binge weekend with some rent boys and cocaine. Why is that any business of the government?
It's crazy, isn't it? So, you know, and what I see it happening a lot now. And I think the main problem is when COVID happened, everyone started paying by cards and people got used to it. And I spoke to the little old lady in the post office around the corner from me, and she said she was losing money because every time somebody comes in and puts a newspaper or on a card, puts a bottle of drink on the card, she's losing money because of the transaction fees. So every time someone pays with a card, Visa, MasterCard, Amex are going to take their little cut. So, you know, they're pushing for no cash. You know, then you have situations like in Canada when the truckers had their bank accounts frozen. I don't know whether it's collecting taxes, I don't know whether it's trying to find out and tracking everyone where they're spending it, or control.
But you're right, because it means that the little mum and business, the corner shop, is actually getting less money, and the big global cartel of Visa, MasterCard, American Express is getting more. And so it's part of the transfer from small business to the global mega corporation.
And I think a lot of people forget that because it's so convenient. They forget that, you know, either the retailer has to pass it on to the customer, or however it happens, money is coming out of my pocket, out of the retailer's pocket, and going into these big corporations.
Well, It's mind-boggling, Leila. Why, I tell you that, instead of giving us the lousy, stupid 10-quid kettle rebate, Boris bloody Johnson, you've lost it. You've lost it. You have completely lost it. 20 years ago, you were a reasonably plausible approximation of a normal human being. Now you're just being flown around in private planes for the rest of your life, and you don't realize, and while you're being jetted around by these big money bags to whatever your next stupid speaking engagement is, British subjects cannot withdraw small four-figure sums from the bank. And you call yourself a Conservative government? Get the hell out of Leilani's bank account. Thank you very much, Leilani. We may need to do a special on this, because this is banking tyranny. It's a terrible business.